Greetings from Hopalong Hollow. We are back here for part 2 of wreath making with foraged materials and nature. And I've added a few more things to my table and straightened it out a little bit. So we have here some wonderful rosemary, lamb's ear, some garden sage, some orange slices. We've got some acorns. We've added to the mix some more really great seed heads from the crepe myrtle trees. So let's get busy making a few more wreaths. Now with my wire wreath bases, I'm going to wrap them in moss using the wire, florist wire. And so I'm just wrapping these to give them a nice soft base underneath. Go gather moss, or you can just purchase the moss at a craft store in a bag. This is Spanish moss, which comes in this natural color and also comes in the green moss. My nice moistened wreath. And if the rain hadn't poured all over the moss, I had it under the table, but it didn't matter. If the rain hadn't fallen on it, I would have watered it with my watering can anyway, because I want my moss to be moist to keep my greens fresh for longer. Okay, I love working with ivy, and in the case of this wreath, I'm just going to take the ivy, wrap it round and round and round. I can anchor the ivy underneath the wire and just weave it in and out of the wreath, rather than having to anchor it with wire every single time. This way, both sides of the wreath will be presentable so that it could be in a window where you could enjoy it from the inside of the house and the outside of the house. Now, because I've just wrapped it round and round and round, I don't really need to secure it in too many places with the wire because it's already pretty secure. And then I can use these intertwining vines just to secure all my extra elements in here. But if you are worried about the wind or the weather, and this is going to get banged around a little bit, maybe it's going to be on a door that will be open and closed a lot, then you can certainly secure it with wire or twine. But I like to make it just as simple as possible, because when it's time to take all these things down, I want to be able to just take them apart, and then I could still use this moss frame in the future indefinitely, because that's good forever. And moving around the wreath using the sedum, the dried sedum, and the teasel. Now the teasel wasn't that impressive when it bloomed as a flower, but my goodness, it put out a lot of seeds for one thing. We'll have teasels forever. But it's really great in arranging dried arrangements and these wreaths. I just think it is such a great element. Isn't that fun? Yeah, I really like this one a lot as well. This one is the ivy twined round and round the moss-covered metal wreath. It's also got some gorgeous teasel, sedum, little acorns, which I had to glue gun in, little sprigs of rosemary here and there, and courtesy of the peacocks, we've got some wonderful feathers in here. Alright, just to save you the monotony of me putting these together bit by bit, here's one that I did on a heart-shaped wire frame covered in the moss. I used quite a few elements in this small wreath, and this one's going to be in the house. So this one has ivy on the bottom. I love the little heart-shaped leaves on the ivy. Red eucalyptus, boxwood. The tiny leaves of the boxwood are perfect for a small wreath. And we have rosemary in there and some of the dried flowers. The red eucalyptus again, and up on top we have the dried gomphrena or globe amaranth from the garden this year. The little leaves right there are garden sage leaves. So this is a very simple and kind of a feminine and pretty little wreath. It would look pretty in a bathroom, I think. Now, we planted a holly hedge about 10 or 15 years ago, specifically because I wanted to have greens for Christmas, and I really wanted those red holly berries, but I've only gotten the red berries once, but I still have plenty of holly. So this is not the treacherous holly with the very pointed and sharp leaves. This is a round-leafed holly which has got a beautiful dark emerald green color to it, and sort of yellowish greenish stems. So this is a great one to use. Sometimes you have to think years in advance, and that's precisely what I did with the holly, and it's also what I did with planting boxwoods. I wanted boxwoods specifically to make wreaths and greenery for the house around wintertime. The winter's here when you can smell wood smoke in the neighborhood. It smells really good, actually. Rather blustery day. I may not have much time left to make these wreaths, so I'm glad this is the last one I'm making today. And this is my favorite one and the easiest one to make. And this is the holly wreath. And I'm not going to wire or twine anything in this wreath because I'm simply going to take my nice sturdy holly pieces and I'm going to just slide them right in between those intertwining branches of the grapevine wreath. So it's just going round and round around once again. And working in one direction and covering up the stems as you go. So it's just as easy as can be. Doesn't get much easier than this. You can see they are in there pretty tightly. You can really squeeze those in there, and they are pretty secure. As you know, these are going to be really short videos for me because most of my videos are at least 30 minutes long. But don't worry if you like the long videos. I'm still doing them for Christmas. I just wanted to get something like this out for those of you that don't want a 30-minute video. Now everything here was just stuck in the grapevine wreath. I think I found a perfect place for one of my bird's nests. I'm not sure if I want to add the orange slices, and if I do, I'll have to figure out how to keep them in place. Let me read a little poem from a book from 1912 called Our Wreath. Symbolizing eternal hope, the wreath goes round and round, and where it starts or ends cannot be found. Woven of things that grow for life and hung for holiday delight, the wreath must be left in place from Christmas Eve through 12th night. We'll see you next time in Hopalong Hollow when we'll make 4 more wreaths. Bye.